Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we're going to be making a pizza that's gluten-free. Look at this, looks brilliant, and I've got to say, tasted absolutely fantastic. That's what it looks like underneath. So obviously it's gluten-free, so it's got no protein. Let's get down to the recipe. Now the flour that we're going to be using is this Caputo gluten-free flour, and we're going to need 600 grams of flour. I'm just weighing that out. It's very, very expensive, so I'm not going to be using the whole kilogram because I'll need some work surface flour when we stretch the pizza. So with that, we need 400 grams of lukewarm water. So this is going to give us a 70% hydration pizza. And then what I've done here, a bit of a mistake unfortunately, is I've put the flour into the water and I'm not putting the vital ingredient, which of course is the yeast. But as you can see, actually, it takes the water and the flour quite nicely. But we'll put in that 2 grams of instant yeast now. And then we need then to mix that all together. So normally what you should do, of course, is pop in the yeast into the water, then make sure that the yeast is working. But fortunately for me, it was a brand new can of yeast, so I've got every confidence that the instant yeast is all okay. So we need to mix all that together, and it's a very, very strange flour, is gluten-free flour. It's like icing sugar. And it has a very, very strange texture to it. And I was really, really surprised at how well this flour made a pizza. I was very, very sceptical at first, I must be honest. We didn't have any rehearsals of this. This was a first go at doing it. And I was really, really surprised at just how good this particular flour is, especially with having no protein, which means no gluten in there. Now, as always, on our past videos, thank you very much to everybody who's taken the time to comment, and also those who have taken the time to subscribe. And if you like what you see on this channel, please consider subscribing. Myself and Oliver always appreciate everything, all the likes, the comments and the subscriptions. We feel that we are building a fantastic pizza community, and we are so happy to have you on our pizza making journey. So we need to mix and knead for about 5 minutes, and we need to add in 15 grams of salt gradually. And again, as you'll see, it does take the flour really, really well into that main dough mixture. What I would advise is it's really fine flour, and make sure you've got plenty of room on your work surface because it does get everywhere when you pour it out, as you can see from the pictures. Now, whilst researching for this video, I've seen some really odd recipes, to say the least, where they've asked for 10 grams of instant yeast, lots of olive oil and all sorts of things. And I thought, well, let's just try it with a normal style pizza recipe. Let's put it on our normal one, what we normally have, which is the room temperature, and let's just see how we go. And I'll be totally honest with you, it was absolutely fine. This stuff is quite delicate, but we didn't rip, and there was no real sticking to the work surface or anything like that. So considering that we've got a 70% hydration recipe here, it's done remarkably well. So have you tried this flour before? If you have, leave a comment. Tell us what you thought about it. What were your findings? Our findings were absolutely superb. Really, really a good flour to work with. I was absolutely so surprised at how well it did. I thought I was going to get a little nightmare, and considering that, you know, you compare this to flours that have got gluten in, no sticking, so easy to work with. Yes, it's delicate, and you've just got to be wary that you've got to make sure that you're not too rough with it. So in with the last bit of flour and the last bit of salt. Also, just one thing to note, if you are making pizza with gluten in there at the same time as this, just make sure that your work surfaces are always cleaned down and that you're not contaminating the work surface. You won't want to make your friends who are gluten intolerant poorly. So we're just about ready now to put that in the bowl, and we're going to cover that with a shower cap, and we're going to let it rest for 19 hours at room temperature. So here it is before, and here it is after 19 hours. So let's go and make some pizza balls. So let's take that shower cap off and let's have a look underneath, and it has risen quite a lot, which is very surprising. So you need to oil your hands because this stuff is very, very delicate, and you don't want to add any more flour into that mix. So just lifting that up. So there's a bit of structure in there, but obviously it's gluten free, so there's no gluten in there at all. So 230 gram pizza balls. You can see how delicate it is. There's no stretch in there. So I'll pop that onto the scale. Just take that little bit off. Don't need that. Pop that to one side. So that's 230 grams. So now we need to use some cling film or shrink wrap, and we just need to cut that off. And then what we'll need to do next is we need to put some oil onto that cling film shrink wrap. And this will just make sure that when it comes to taking that pizza ball out and get ready to make pizza with it, it's not going to be sticking everywhere, because it is, again, very, very delicate. So re-oil your hands. That looks brilliant. And then just massage a bit of that oil into the dough itself. And then once you're happy with that, it's then time to pop it onto the shrink wrap cling film. And then we need to then fold over half, and then over half again, and then just tuck that underneath so it's loosely fitting, not too tight. So there we go. Look at that, looks fantastic. So we need to let them rest now for 5 hours. Pizza time is coming right up. Okay, pizza time. We're just going to unwrap that pizza ball out of that cling film shrink wrap. Came out really nicely. We're just using a chopping board here. We don't want any cross-contamination and making people who are gluten intolerant poorly. So this stuff is extremely delicate, and you've got to really work it with your hands. Try not to lift this up. So I lifted it up there when it was a small dough ball still, just to shift that excess flour away. But you just got to work it with your hands really slowly, just nicely. As I say, if you need to move it, don't lift it off the work surface. It will break. Trust me on that. It really, really will. It's very, very delicate stuff. So here we go. This is all unedited, and just work it round. Get that flour off that work surface as much as we can, because we don't want it to taste burnt when we put it in the pizza oven. And then it just makes it look so easy, but believe me, just take your time with this. It really, really is a bit of a skill. I found out the hard way a couple of times before we actually got to this perfect one here. So working it with the hands, making sure that it's not sticking to the work surface, just turning it, and it'll be all okay. So on with the tomato sauce. And again, speed here I think is quite key, because you don't want that sticking to the work surface when you put the sauce on. So on with some Parmigiano. That looks terrific. And we're going to pop on some grated cheese, which is smoked cheese. It's that time of year when it's just nice to add a little bit of a flavour. On with some fresh buffalo mozzarella. Just working that round. And yeah, it's going to look like an absolute fantastic pizza. Some pepperoni now. This is from Amato Foods of Manchester. Look them up. They really, really do offer some great value Italian produce. So just putting that around. And next, I'll add a little bit more. You can never have too much pepperoni. What's yours? Leave it in the comments. So here we go. Onto the peel. I'm going to show you this twice onto the peel. So that's from above. And that's from below. Just be really, really careful getting it onto the peel. And then we'll pop it into the pizza oven. And that looks brilliant. So the pizza oven is 400 degrees. If you're using a home oven, just make sure it's on the max. If you're using a stone in there, you need all the heat you can get. So just warming that turning peel up, and then pepperonis are crisping up already. They're looking brilliant. And again, just be really, really careful, making sure that that base is set before we turn. So we'll give that a 180. And let's have a look what we've got. And that looks like it's starting to get a bit of a leoparding effect on there. So we'll just keep turning it. One of the things I didn't notice, I was probably a bit disappointed, if I'd put a little bit more oil in, we probably could have got it browned off a little bit more. But I don't think that really detracted from the taste of the pizza itself. maybe just more of the look of the pizza, but just turning that around. And the base is nicely set now, so we can turn it around with a little bit more confidence. And let's get that peel underneath and let's get it inside. So onto the chopping board. Now, it wasn't very, very crispy. Maybe if I put a little bit more olive oil in to help with the browning, that might have helped. But the taste, let me just tell you, there was hardly any difference between a gluten-free and a gluten base. This was a really, really tasty pizza. The bread was amazing, really, really soft in your mouth, really, really melty. And my friend who had this was in awe of it. Best pizza they've ever had is their comments back to me. So if you like this one, the Caputo flour gluten-free was fantastic, well worth it. Bye for now.